All right, welcome back to the Bulldog Insider. We have some artwork to show you. It was done by the very talented Robert Blancas, a freelance artist from right here in Fresno. Robert, thanks so much for coming back to the show. The last time you were here, you showed us pieces of Derek Carr and Davante Adams. There are a lot of pieces of Derek Carr on this couch in front of us. We'll talk about that in a second, but first, just everything that you've done in your career has led you to this point. How proud are you of the work that you've done?
Well, I'm very proud of the work I've done. I think I've come a long way from, well, obviously from my time in school and then to now where I think my work is getting out there more, so more people are being able to see it, and that makes me feel good to know that it's putting smiles on people's faces when they do see it. So I get good feedback off of all my artwork, so that's really good to hear.
Well, I found you on social media, and I'm sure a lot of people find you there as well. You also have a website, robertsimages.net. You can check out all of his pieces. Why don't you run through what you brought with us, or brought to show us today?
Well, I brought mostly my sports-themed artwork today because, well, obviously it's the sports show, but I do a lot of pop culture artwork, which is, you know, the Star Wars, Avengers, Marvel stuff. I'm a big Marvel fan, so that's what I draw most of the time. But I recently did a signing with David Carr, so that's what that first piece is right there. And that was a good experience for me because Derek Carr, I'd also done a signing. I wasn't there at that one, but he had signed my artwork there too. So it's nice to have the brothers sign my artwork, so that was a good moment for me. So.
Yeah, two guys that people in the Valley might know. We see Jose Ramirez, obviously we're getting a pan shot. We see the David Carr artwork, there's Jose Ramirez. Aaron Judge, we just talked about him, he had 2 hits today, 3 hits yesterday. How detailed do you get with these pieces? How long does it take you to put one together? Do you have a headshot of the players right next to it? Take us through the process.
Yeah, most of the time I just I come up with an idea in my head, and I try and find pictures that would fit the closest to that idea that I have in my head. And then other times where I don't know what I'm gonna come up with until the very end, like this Derek Carr piece that I just finished. I started drawing it, but then as I was drawing it, I thought, oh, this is gonna be a good idea to put the shield in behind him. So that was kind of like a last minute thing. So, but most of the time I come up with an idea in my head. I'll try and find pictures that match that as close as possible, and then I put those pictures together in the artwork. So
it's a unique interest, right?
Right.
Fresno State football players and players who are now in the NFL who went to Fresno State, and Marvel superheroes. How do those two mesh?
Well, I think the Fresno State stuff started, well, I was always a Carr fan of both brothers. I followed their careers at Fresno State. But a few years ago, a guy at A to Z Cards contacted me wanting some artwork done of Derek Carr. So I did a couple of pieces of that, and he loved them, so I just kind of kept going with it. And been getting a lot of good feedback off of it. I think more good feedback off of the sports stuff than my Marvel stuff. But
you know, it's funny, you mentioned David Carr. I grabbed a photo off your Facebook page of you with David Carr. I know he visited with you at A to Z Cards at Sierra Vista Mall in Clovis. I think that was June 1st. The piece, and there's the photo of you with David Carr. We saw the piece that's on the left side of the couch over here. David getting a close-up look at your artwork. What did he think? What was the reaction?
I was really surprised. Well, for one, he's just this really nice guy, a real down-to-earth nice guy. He just jumps in talking to you. And then he remembered exactly every one of those pictures of the photos that I picked him from. He was, I know what that one's from. I know what that one's from. I know that he knew, and he was able to name them all off. Guy's got a good memory, so I thought that was really cool that he remembered those. But
can we get a close-up of the Derek Carr one over here that Robert says is his newest piece? Now, you look at it, and obviously it's got the silver and black, the colors of the Raiders. I noticed there are no logos, no emblems. Legally, you have to keep those off, right?
Right.
What can you tell us about this piece and how long it took you to make and what you think about the finished product?
Well, my idea on this one was I wanted to highlight his number 4. That was the original idea. Just because he also has the DC for Kids thing that he's got going. And then I just like I said, as I started drawing it, I felt it needed something. After I put the 4 in, I felt it needed something, and that's when I came up with the idea with putting it inside the shield to kind of highlight him a little bit better. But this piece took me probably about 3 hours to do.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wow, from start to finish. From conception to, wow,
Right.
3 hours. Okay, well, we found somebody who is immensely more talented than I am. More with Robert Blancas when we come back. Back here on the Bulldog Insider with Robert Blancas, local artist, a freelancer who does a lot of work in his spare time, but if you were paying attention in the last segment, he said he can put together one of these pieces in about 3 hours. We swapped out some during the break. You can see we've got Captain Marvel over here, Charles Woodson over here, Princess Leia over here. So a very specific genre for Robert. Now I assume, because you are a big Marvel fan, you are a big Star Wars fan, that you've seen all the movies, right?
Right.
Did you draw the Captain Marvel piece after seeing the Captain Marvel movie?
That one I actually drew before I saw the movie.
Really? Was it when Brie Larson was named as the actress to play Captain Marvel?
Well, I mainly drew that because when the Wonder Woman movie came out, and I did a Wonder Woman piece, and then everyone seemed to like that one a lot, and my daughter really liked that one, so I wanted to do another woman character because it's mainly I have male characters in my portfolio, but so that's the reason why I did that, and plus I just like the costume, the colors of the costume, so that's mainly why I did that.
Well, anyone who saw the movie knows that the colors initially were that green and silvery color.
Right.
These are much more vibrant, obviously. Do you like working with vibrant colors?
Yes.
Do you prefer that?
Yeah.
So Fresno State's perfect, right? Because of the red.
Right. Most of my artwork, I got a mix here, but I try and show, make the vibrant colors. I like that. The Ramirez one, I have the gloves that are just in red to really pop them out, and then with a dark background. So I do like the color now. Originally, I used to draw everything in black and white, but then as I grow, I think I want to try different things. So I switched mainly to color now.
So most guys out there who are big sports fans have man caves. I assume you have a man cave that's just filled with artwork? Is that an accurate
I have a small one. It's also my work office, so it's small, but I have my artwork up on the walls, yes.
Okay, now if people want to check out Robert's work, you can go to the website robertsimages.net. What are you working on next? What can people expect to come from you next, your next inspiration?
Well, I will definitely be doing more football stuff with the football season coming up. I'm not sure exactly who yet, but there will be a few pieces of NFL players coming up. And then I have lots of requests for the Joker, and that's what I'm working on right now. So
there's a movie coming out,
yeah,
I think,
there's
right?
a Joker movie coming out.
Yeah, the superhero movies just keep churning out through both Marvel and DC.
Nobody seems to get tired of them, so I don't. But
well, I mean, how many MCU movies did they make? 21, 22, and then Spider-Man Far From Home just came out. I don't see Spider-Man out here. I know you're a big Spider-Man fan.
Yeah. I thought I had it. Oh, yeah, it was a little bit right there.
Okay, yeah, he's part of the Stan Lee tribute over there.
Yes.
Man, that was so sad when we lost Stan Lee.
Right.
Back to Fresno State, though, Robert, I want to ask you, the piece on David Carr that we have all the way on the left side of the couch over here, obviously he signed that for you. Having David Carr in your corner, he's somebody that now works at NFL Network. Do you think that could open the door for you to potentially get your pieces out there, maybe on a national landscape?
Well, I hope so. That's the hope. I mean, the fame or getting, it's like a double-edged sword for me. I don't care about the fame. I mainly care about people seeing my artwork, if that makes any sense. And I do a lot of art shows, and to me, just seeing the smiles of the people that come up to my table and looking through my artwork and the comments that they make, that means a lot to me, whether or not they buy something from me or not. So my artwork for me is just mainly getting people to smile, be happy at the moment, forget about what they're, if they had a bad day, this is not, something. That's what gets me going with my artwork. So
now, with respect to the Fresno State players, you've kind of you've kind of put together pieces of Fresno State players once they've left Fresno State. Are you allowed to put together any pieces of current Bulldog student athletes, or do you try to wait until they become professionals?
I don't know. That hasn't come up, so that's an interesting question.
Would you want to? Would you want to have a relationship? I'm not trying to pitch for you.
No. I would definitely. I would draw anybody. I mean, That's a very interesting question. I've never been asked that before. But yeah, I would definitely be interested in drawing current players, if they're going to the NFL or not. I just like drawing people, their faces. Their faces are what interests me, people's faces. Everybody has a unique face, and so every drawing is different when you're drawing them, because everything's very unique in how you draw their faces, especially their eyes. If you don't get the eyes right, then the person doesn't look like the person unless you get the eyes right. So I always spend the most time drawing eyes. So.
Well, Robert, you do a fantastic job. I'm glad we were able to showcase some of the work here on Bulldog Insider for the second time in like 2 years. We'll have to get you back sooner. And by the way, I found out that Robert's daughter is the most talented artist in the family. He said so, not me. More than 25 years of experience in graphic design. Robert, thanks so much for coming by today and showing us your work.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. We'll be right back.